Okay guys, welcome back. We're in a bit of a different video today. We're going to be doing a review and it is on the Jackery solar generator. So let's crack it open, get right into it. Before we crack open and have a look at our first impression of what's inside, I know that we don't normally do, well, we haven't done a review videos on this channel. Now I do get quite a lot of companies that do reach out and ask us to promote their products and show them off and do reviews. I knock, as you guys have obviously noticed, I knock all of them back unless it's a product that I think would benefit all of you guys. You can read it, solar generator. Basically, this thing replaces a petrol generator. And it is what they promote it for. Main use is home emergencies. So things like if the power was to go out, you've got this as your backup. And we I haven't seen it yet, but just going off what's on the web page, we're going to use this thing for everything. It sounds so versatile and it's very user friendly, and you can take it anywhere. So you can bet that we're going to take this when we go camping. Definitely going to use this when we've got blackouts. Now, obviously not this house. This house is on solar, but Henry's house isn't. The quarters isn't. And having something like this is so much easier than trying to lug our big giant generator when this does the exact same job. So this, obviously you got to charge it to make it work, but it's also, I'm not sure if the solar panels include. Let's dive in and see what comes in this, and we shall see what we've got on the inside. All right, I'm going to put this on the ground and bring it up because she's a hefty unit. But let me tell you, she's not light. All right. Bear with me. There we go. All right. There we go. We've got the Jackery solar generator. As you guys can see, this is the Explorer 2000 Plus. There's a 2042.8 watt hours and 3000 watts. So it's an absolute weapon. We'll pull her out and we'll see what we've got inside the box. I like when it's got easy to pull off stickers. It's just grab, pull down. All right, first off, we've got a little bag at the top. Let's have a look at what's in there. Okay, so that's got our charging cable, so we charge, that's the wall charging cable. It also has got a charging cable so that you can charge this from your car. So if you're, like I said, if you're out camping, you're using it during the day, you're going to move your campsite, whatever, plug it in and then you'll have it fully charged by the time you get to campsite. And then those look like adapters for that. Also inside you've got the instruction manual, and then if we lift that off, and there she is. And there it is. It just feels solid, looks solid. What you guys might not be able to see. So if I flip it around, you've got wheels, And you've got a handle. You can literally walk this around. You've got a power outage and you need to go and start the pump. You walk it out, go and get your pump going. Once you've had your shower, well, you probably need to have it connected to your hot water system in your pump. Once you've done that, you come back in, you wheel it back in, turn some lights on, turn your fridge back on, coffee machine, all that. So let's have a look at what it's got. Right, before we turn it on, let's go over what we've got. We've got 2 USB-A ports. We have 2 USB-C ports. We have got a DC 12 volt 10 amp plug, so you can chuck in your cigarette lighter plugs in there to charge whatever. Then you've got 3 230 volt 10 amp plugs. Out the back, we've got our DC expansion port. And on this side, we've got our inputs. So that's how we charge when we're going from the wall, and that's how we charge when we are using our cigarette lighter plug. With our DC expansion port, this plug here is so we can add another unit on top to give you guys even more power, more storage. So if you're going very off grid, or you want to make sure that your supply for when you're at home, for when your power goes out, is more than capable to last until the power comes back on. We know that in the rural areas, that could be anywhere from 12 hours to a week. You can get another unit that goes on top of this one and you plug it into there, and then it all becomes basically that's just an extra battery, goes on top, then you plug it into there, and then it means that you can utilize all the stuff on the front there. Now we're going to connect our phone to the unit. So we're going to press the power on, and we're going to wait for that to pop up there. On our phone, we're now going to click add, allow. We've already got it, and it was as quick and as easy as that. On our app, we've got our battery percentage at the top. Then you can see your input and your output. So that's what what shows up when you're actually charging it. So that's the input side. It'll tell us how many watts it's going in, and then an output, it'll tell us how much it's using when we're using that. And then down there, it's got our screen. So we can turn our screen off on there, or we can have it on so it's only on for 2 minutes, or we can have it on for 2 hours. And then if we go into our settings, you've just got a whole bunch of other sort of stuff that you need to, all your firmware upgrades, your battery settings, all that sort of stuff is in there. Let's plug her in and let's get it charged up. So we're going to chuck it in, it's in here in the office. We're going to chuck it right next to our robot vacuum cleaner. So we're just going to pop our door open, put our plug in like so, plug it into the wall, turn it on, and then in a sec, there we go. It is now charging. And I believe what we're seeing here, that is how long it's going to take for it to get fully charged. So as it's just calibrating all its percentages, calibrating the power coming in, it's now down to 3 hours to get fully charged. Now that might reduce even more. Right, that's now at about 2.6 hours until fully charged. So no time at all really for it to get fully charged, and then to get it depleted down to needing to charge again. It's going to take a lot of power to do that. When you've got a capacity of 2,042 watt hours, that's a lot of things that you are putting on, to charge to bring that power down. Obviously, the larger things you use, that's going to come down really quick. So if we were in a blackout and we put the fridge on, your fridge is only going to go for about 2 to 3 hours on this. But things like using a pump, using your hot water system, running the kettle, the toaster, anything like that, you're going to get quite a lot of time before you need to recharge it. And if your blackout goes for quite a while, like I said, you can use solar panels out the back. So Jackery sell the solar panels. They also sell, the extra battery unit that goes there, but you can get more than one solar panel. So if you're living off grid, saying going camping or doing whatever, you've got the perfect system to do that. Now, things that you might use it for. Down here, we've got an outdoor projector. So we'll be able to run that out at the pool there. But in summertime, that'd be ideal. Like I said, the coffee machine, the Wi-Fi router. So we could run our Starlink. We could run our computer as well, so that we can do whatever we need to do. So if we've got bills that need paying urgently, like fertilizer bills, they are something that need to be paid like that day, if not the next day. So if we were in a blackout, it gets a bit difficult to try and pay them. But you just chuck the Jackery onto the Starlink, turn the computer on, bang, you've got that going. Now for other things, you could use it for doing the charging the Milwaukee batteries, blowers for your blower, everything like that. Your portable lights, the light stations, plug it in and get that rolling. So once this thing's fully charged, and it'll probably be tomorrow that we'll first start using it, we're going to get into it. And the first job that thing is going to do is make Rhiannon's cup of coffee in the morning. We've got a pod machine and a kettle. So we're going to use it on both of those at the same time, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, so ignore Louie in the background. He's going to keep meowing. We'll just let this turn on. For those who don't know, a kettle takes a huge amount of power to run. So on a small little generator that you'd have for your caravan, things like that, you wouldn't actually be able to run your kettle on it. So they say that this thing can run the kettles, can run things like that, coffee machines. I don't know if I'll be able to do both at once, but we'll give it a go. So I'm going to turn that on. Oh, hang on. First we're going to turn the plugs on. Here you got your plug. So we turn that on. So otherwise, then, it doesn't work. So we turn that on. You can hear it sort of warming up in the background. We got that on. And there you go. 1,900 watts. And it'll tell us how long we can use it for with that amount of power. So it's going down, obviously, because we're drawing a huge amount of power. But we are able to heat up our kettle using that, which is, honestly, that's insane. So I'm going to wait for that one, and then once the kettle's boiled, we will we'll run the pod machine. That is absolutely insane. That boiled that kettle in the normal amount of time that it would take to boil something. That's insane. So I've just put my pod machine on. So this is I don't know what machine this is. A Nestle. And you can see here that, we're ready to go. It's just warmed it up. So let's go. Out comes the coffee, and then over here you can see our wattage. Okay, first impressions, because this is the first time that I've used this machine at all. That was insanely impressive. Like I said, kettles use a lot of power, as you saw. It and I love that it gives you your wattage that you're using, and it's even better that it gives you the amount of hours that are, that you could use that thing for. We're back up now. It's going back up to 100 hours of use because we're not using it. I'll turn this off so we don't have. So it's not drawing anything, but that is crazy. I reckon we should do a toaster. One of the girls will have toast for breakfast for sure, and we'll crack the toaster on after everyone's woken up, because that is super impressive. Ideal for a for a power out emergency, because the one thing that Rhiannon always needs to have in the mornings is her coffee. I'm not allowed to speak to her unless I bring her coffee, and when you've got to try and do it the old-fashioned way, boiling a pot of water, something like that, takes a long time. So to have that is super handy. Even runs the projector. Now let's have a look at our screen down here, see what's going on. We can watch this for 28 hours. 28 hours straight of projector time. So we're going to really, really love using this. And I know the whole thing is that having this for emergency power for your house. But the other practical use for this is something like camping and being able to go out and put a movie wherever you are is going to be. We're definitely going to be using this when we go camping, or even like a nice summery night in the pool out there. Put a sheet up on the veranda and watch a movie in the pool. I reckon that'd be pretty cool. But this thing's very versatile. It's time for a bit more of practical use. So obviously kettle, that's very important, especially if your missus needs a coffee. The projector, not so important, but pretty cool. Now the hot water system is the main one. When we have power outages, so when we'll typically have a power outage when you desperately need a shower, is when we go and fight fires. If it's a bad fire, normally the power lines have been affected and they're down, the power's out. You're coming home, you've been sweating all day, you stink of smoke, all you want to do is go to sleep, but you need a shower. Power's out. And this has happened more times than I can count. If this runs the hot water system and obviously the pump, but my pump is all the way down there, so I can't do both at the same time. But if this runs the hot water system, then this thing is just a brilliant emergency blackout situation. So let's give it a go. Take that out, chuck it in there, turn our Jackery on, and then we turn our switch on. Now we'll go inside and we'll turn the hot water on, and then we'll run out here and check if it's check what it's doing. So it's going, so that means it's going to hit the 50 degrees. And then if we look down here, we can see that we're using 38 watts. And the water in here is boiling hot, so that's working. That's ideal. So that was only using 30 watts of power. Now we'll take our Jackery down here to our pump, and we'll use the pump. And because it gives us our wattage, we'll be able to see exactly what we can add it on. It's not the pump isn't going to take a huge amount, so we should be able to run both at the exact same time, which means that it's the perfect situation for a blackout. And all we would do, because we do have extension cords around the place, is we'd chuck an extension cord down there and then run it up to here and do that. But we'll go down there and we'll chuck her on. So we've got the washing machine on at the moment. So the pump came on straight away, which is actually good. But I'll come in here, I'll turn the tap on and we'll shoot back down and we'll see what we're getting for constant wattage. Got the tap on fully in there and we're at 670 watts. And you can see at that we'd be able to run for 2.7 hours it's saying now. But that's awesome. So a true blackout situation, I can run both the pump and my hot water system at the exact same time. And for anyone who's been in a blackout, you know that the main thing you want is a shower, regardless of if it's, like I said, when you're at a fire or not. It is, you go to bed because you have a shower at night. That is, yeah, that is awesome. The next thing, which I know that this is going to take it no worries, is charging the good old Milwaukee battery. We've all got electric blowers or lights or whippersnippers, things like that require batteries to be charged. Let's see how she does it. Alright, so it's on and there we go. So far I am super impressed with how this Jackery is performing. I mean, the thing that blew me away was the kettle. We do know, well, we all know now how much power a kettle sucks, and to be able to run your kettle off that, yeah. I've tried it on a little petrol generator before, and couldn't do it. Same with the toaster. Let's go and grab the toaster. We'll come out here, and we'll chuck the toaster on here, and we'll see how that goes. Because this at the moment, now it's fully charging, it's up at 120 watts. Doing it with ease. The only thing that has got close to its limit is the kettle. So let's go grab the toaster. We'll see how that goes. Okay, the ultimate test with the toaster. We'll chuck our screen on, make sure that's up. She's clicked down. There we go, look at that. That is super impressive. Now, you might be able to hear it, I'm not sure, but the fans in here are starting to whirl up. They're very quiet. So the fans are starting to whirl up because we are using so much wattage. But that is super impressive. We'll keep going to this toaster's toasted just to show you guys and prove to you guys that it does work. But yeah, that's impressive. I'll go and grab my fan while this is happening, because I don't know about you guys, but if it's a hot night, that's typically when the power goes out for us. So I'm going to go and grab the fan, because we like to sleep with the fan on, and especially if it's hot, obviously you want the fan on. So I'm going to go grab that while that cooks. Okay, toaster on, fan on. And look at that. Doesn't even trouble it. Might as well turn it right up, shall we? Turn up to speed 3. Turn our screen back on so I can see what we've got. No issue. Doesn't even trouble it. Now, running a toaster and a fan at the same time, it's going to give us 1.2 hours of usage. Which, look, that's might not sound like a huge amount, but we are using a lot of power. You're not going to be running a toaster the whole time through a blackout. Things that you're going to use it for, you'll use a fan the whole time. You might use a fan during the night when it's hot, or even during the day if it's hot. So once this toaster's done toasting, let's just see how much power that fan's drawing. All right, look at that, toasted. Needs some peanut butter, but let's now turn our fan on and we'll see how long we can run our fan for. So it's now constantly going at 46 watts, and at 46 watts, and we've got 90% battery left, that's 20 hours. 20 hours of run time for a fan. Right, we don't want to have the garage light coming in. We want that closed so we can test this thing out. And we all know it's going to work. So it's going to get dark, turn those lights off. We wait for that. And there we go. So now I've got the light that's up there. I can't turn that one off. Anyway, we'll come down to our Jackery here, and we will turn the wrong one on. Turn that one on, and then give it just a sec, and these lights are going to turn on. Ooh, there we go. Look at that. Now these two lights, these are two, as you guys can see, they're two floodlight LEDs, and they're both drawing at the moment 158 watts, which is 10, well, it was at 10 hours. It's now at 8.7 hours. It's obviously just figuring out its where it's at. But 8 hours of light from something like those is insane. You know, if you're just needing a bit of light to do your cooking, or I don't know, have dinner or whatever, you don't need this on for 8 hours straight. So that gives you 8 hours, you know, a bit of light at night time, and then you can have your fan on all night. You can then make your coffee in the morning. You can then turn your hot water system on in your shower the night before or in the morning, and you'd still have battery to spare with that thing. Just to prove that you can charge your phone off this, we'll chuck it in there. Turn that side on, and look at that. We are charging, and you're going to get 100 hours out of that. Now for my final thoughts on the Jackery Explorer 2000 Plus. This thing is an absolute weapon. It's blown me away with what it can do and its capacity. Being able to run that kettle was super impressive, along with the pod machine. They take a lot of power, as you guys saw, and to do that without any issue was amazing. This is a great unit for having that emergency power backup. Like I've said just before, you can just run nearly everything in your house. I mean, you can run your fridge for 2 hours if you needed your fridge to be running for whatever reason, come a blackout. But the most important things that I find in a blackout is a shower. You want to make sure you've got a hot shower or running water. So obviously you need to be able to drink. The next one is obviously the kettle, because Rhiannon loves having a nice coffee or tea or whatever. So having been able to run your kettle is amazing. Being able to run lights, everything like that is that's just a plus. But the big one for me is the hot water system, your water pump, and the kettle. And to do all that was very impressive. Even the toaster, you know, you can have toast in the mornings and have no issue. So there is a link for this in the description below, guys. Go and check them out. I personally would recommend it. We are going to use this all the time, not just for blackouts. This thing has got so much versatility. We can use this on the farm for our heat gun, for our grinder. I reckon we'd be able to run a welder on it for, you're only going to, how long do you need, if we need it out in the paddock, you can go and weld something for a quick 15, 20 minutes. And I think this thing would have no issues. Just the portability of it, you know, it's got the wheels. It's, I don't know exactly the weight of it, but it's not too heavy. It is, it's a good unit. And you guys know that I wouldn't be doing this video if I didn't believe in the product, and it's a product that I can tell you right now I believe in. It works. It's very user friendly. You know, the app's easy, using it's easy. Turn it on. Charging it was no issue at all. The fact that you can charge it in the car as well is awesome. And also you know, you can use the sun. You can get the solar panels as well. Chuck them on there. It's it's a good unit, and I'd recommend it. So with that, guys, we'll leave the video there. So thank you for watching. We'll catch you in the next one.